All right, here we are live. Peace and love, family. Thank you, everyone out there who is tuning in. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please like and subscribe. I'm Queen Tamara of Astral Healing Arts Wellness Center and this channel, Astral Healing Arts. And I have a few announcements before we get started this evening. My radio and TV show on Plugged In Network called The Healing Cipher is starting a new season in November. So November the 7th, I believe, is when we start back. Yes. So we have a new episode, new studio, new content, new everything. November 7th. I'm looking forward to it. Please tune in on Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on pluggedinradio.com. Or if you have a Roku television, you can watch it on the Plugged In Network channel. So, peace and love again, fam. I hope everyone is well out there on this Wednesday evening. It's October 26th. Yesterday began a new moon. So we're in the new moon phase, which is so wonderful for new beginnings and starting new projects. And we also had a solar eclipse yesterday. So I am still enjoying the energy of this new beginning and new cycles and this time of rebirth that we're in the zone of Scorpio. So I hope all is well with each and every one of you. And I hope everyone is surrounded by love at this time. And so today we're going to be talking about dreams and visions. Dreams and visions. I get a lot of questions about the phenomenon of dreams and visions or having spiritual experiences dealing with sight. Right now we know that there's a great awakening taking place on Mother Earth right now, that many people are experiencing this paradigm shift in different ways. And one of the things that's happening right now is many of us, our spiritual abilities are growing and developing and getting stronger. And so many of us are developing clairvoyant abilities, and other spiritual phenomenon is becoming more commonplace for many of us. And in it becoming more commonplace, people are starting to have, well, some people have always had these experiences, but some people are beginning to have very vivid dreams. Their dreams are more lucid, have more messages in them, or they're having visions. And to some people, they are one and the same. Now, we know that the English language is a language that doesn't convey the meaning and message behind a lot of spiritual and energetic phenomenon. So we're doing the best we can with what we have. And so to me, dreams are the messages that you get when you're asleep, and visions are the messages that you get when you're in the waking state. So with that said, dreams and visions can be likened into messages from the divine realm or the spiritual realm or the higher realms. And many of us experience dreams and visions throughout our lives. And I know the dominant culture has taught us that, has put very little value on these things, but in many indigenous cultures, they're very important, they're very valuable, and they are a source of divine inspiration. If you are a religious person, then you know that many religions talk about um, religious leaders or spiritual teachers having dreams and visions. Many of the stories that we read about in the Bible, for example, were based on a dream or a vision that one of the prophets had or one of the seers had, and they conveyed it into a message. Um, Also, the Bible talks about the prophet named Joseph, who in the Old Testament who was an interpreter of dreams. So there's a lot of information out there in the spiritual and religious realm about dreams and visions. And so a dream is, like I said, the messages that you get in your your sleeping state. So how these tie into us as multidimensional beings. We are spiritual beings having human experiences, each and every one of us. I know sometimes people don't act like it, but they are. We're spiritual beings, and there's many different layers or many aspects of us. We're much more than our physical form and the physicality that you see. We also have a spiritual vessel or a soul or whatever you want to call it. And we exist on different dimensions. And all of these dimensions are very real and they're very present and they're all happening simultaneously. Many people look at dimensions or realms or the different worlds, whichever terminology you choose to use, as layers lying one on top of each other. And that's not correct. They are all existing at the same time and they're intertwined, if you will. And an easy way to understand the different dimensions that exist is kind of like right now you may be listening to me on your phone or your computer in the physical realm, but at the same time right now on another side of the earth it's daytime, people are waking up, getting ready to go about their day, although where I am it's the end. Well, the day is coming to an end and people are preparing for sleep. So those are kind of like different dimensions. Or when you go outside you may observe a bird flying overhead. Well, right now simultaneously you go somewhere else and at the same time there's fish and swimming in the ocean, animals beginning to migrate south for the winter. There's so much different things happening simultaneously and they're all going about their day or their existence with little interaction with one another and like just oblivious to one another, sort of. That's kind of like what the different dimensions are like. So if you're sleeping and you're having a dream and it feels so real to you, and when you wake up you're kind of like, oh wow, that felt so real. I was talking to my grandmother that passed away, or I dreamed I was driving this new car and it felt so real. Well, it was real. It was a real experience in a different dimension or a different reality. And we use these words like what's real or not real or whatever, but reality is telling you that there's more than one aspect of what makes something. There's different things that make up your reality. Okay, there's different things that make up your reality. And so what's happening in your dream state is just as real as what's happening when you are awake and moving about in your physical vessel. It's the same thing. It's just different dimensions or different realms of existence. And that's why it feels so real, because it is. And many of us have bizarre dreams. Sometimes you may dream of flying, you may dream that you're you know looking through the eyes of something else or whatever. But all of this is real. It's just multi dimensions. Now visions can happen while you're in the awake state. And a vision can be an idea or something that you formulate in your own mind, or it can be something that can also be channeled to you, or a divine message or divine insight that you may receive. And throughout history, you hear about people who discovered things, who invented things, um, who did something seemingly miraculous, and it was based off a dream or a vision they had. They had a dream about something. I've heard many musicians say that they were hearing a tune in their dream, and when they woke up, they started composing it. Or sometimes people get names from a dream, or they have a vision of something and they pursue it and it comes into wonderful fruition for them. So all of that is what takes place in these different dimensions, and they are just as real, like I said, as your physical state. A lot of the ideas that we have, that we bring into fruition, it started as a idea or thought or a vision in your mind, and you could see it in your mind's eye, and you brought it into physical existence. And that is what a vision is. A vision, you can deliberately create a vision with through visualization, and visualization is the creation of images in your mind. But sometimes, like I said, you can get divine insight, and these can formulate, not formulate, sometimes you'll get a download, or a vision will come to you spontaneously, or what I call divine insight. And that is something that you can also act upon and work on and expand it in your mind's eye and bring it into fruition. There's a verse in the Holy Bible that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Meaning, without a vision or without creating an image of something tangible, the people will perish. And you can, interpret that any way that you want to, literally or figuratively. But without a vision, without an idea, everything would perish, because this house that I'm sitting in started as an idea or a vision in someone's mind. Somebody had to visualize it, put it down on paper, and then construct it. This computer that I'm talking through, this had to start as a vision or an idea or image in someone's mind, whether they sat and deliberately thought it up, or if it came to them in divine insight. The vision was there, and from that vision they acted upon it, and they brought it into the physical realm. So the visions can be looked at as, and the dreams, as insight or messages from a different dimension or a different realm, and then you bring it into the physical realm or the material realm, which we're into. You can always be a conscious creator of your life and the world around you by holding the right vision in your mind. So, many spiritual teachers talk about the importance of visualization, how you think about a thing, you focus on it, and you may have to write it down. That's another spiritual practice, writing and spelling. And you focus on it every day. And where you focus your energy, that is where you will see the greatest growth. So, thinking of a thing in your mind, seeing yourself, you can just visualize the whole experience. Think of the thought, visualize yourself completing the idea or whatever the thought is, and feel it. Actually feel the excitement of it, feel the wonder of having this great experience, and you can create this in your physical world. I know a woman who told me about creating a manifestation journal. I used to make vision boards all the time, but now I keep it in a book where I can see it and just look at it every day. But she told me that she did it because she wanted to travel, so she started cutting out pictures of different places and tropical places and places she had never been before, and she put them in this journal, and she looked at it every day. And then months went by, and she went on a trip to Hawaii. And the trip was kind of spontaneous. And she said while she was there, and when she arrived and she was walking on the grass in this forest in Hawaii, she said she realized I'm walking in my manifestation journal. She said, this is not, a trip that I planned. She said, but everything that I put in that journal and everything that I visualized and focused on, she said, I'm walking in it. I'm experiencing it. So that's another example of how visions can be used. Many of us have, back to the dreams. Dreams, like I said, are the messages that we get during our sleep state. And, some people can actually command their dreams, or when they're in their dream state, they can focus on and be really active and present in it. And the dreams, I think, are messages for us from our multidimensional selves. And so some of us have prophetic dreams, some people have symbolic dreams, and many prophetic dreams are just that. They're dreams or messages of prophecy. And as spiritual beings, you can have access to that world as well. It's not something that's limited just to certain people. Well, it can be. It just takes the right frequency to tap into, or the right mind frame to tap into that world where you can actually see things happening, or see things happening before they happen. And it's very easy for us to access. It just takes some intention, it takes concentration, and a lot of times when we wake up, and this happens to me often, when we wake up, because we go from one dimension to another, we forget a lot of the stuff. Like, we may have a very vivid, very active dream, maybe talking in the dream, and then when you wake up, you realize, oh wow, I forgot everything, because of the change from one place to another, the one dimension to another. And the veil between them may be very thin, but it's still a big difference between the two, from going from this denser state and leaving the dream state. So you may forget things. So I highly recommend that people keep a dream journal. And if you have visions on a regular, you may want to keep a vision journal as well. And in the dream journal, just write down whatever messages that you can remember. And if you go back and look over it, you may overstand over time what the dreams meant. Because sometimes the dreams, like I said, they may be warnings, they may be prophetic messages, whatever. Just write them down. Even if it doesn't make any sense to you, write it down, and it may come, the answer may come to you later, or it may bring more clarity later when you just record it. The same thing with visions. Sometimes visions are very clear, very concise. Other times, maybe not so. But whatever it is that you're seeing, take it seriously. Don't short guess yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Don't feel like, oh, this is my imagination. Because if you were given this divine insight, take it seriously. Take it as a gift from the Creator. Look at it as a supreme message and for yourself. And just like when you're receiving a calling, when you have a calling to do something from spirit, and it's going to be something for you. It's not going to be a conference call. So when you get that special call to do whatever, to start a new career, to seek a spiritual path, to change your life, change your diet, change your lifestyle, change your mind frame, to move. Many of us are getting messages now to move, move to a new location. Whatever it is, that's a personal message for you. So I look at visions and dreams the same way. They're personal, very personal messages. You can look at them as messages from your higher self or your ancestors or whatever source that you feel that they're coming from. It's perfectly all right, but they're very important messages for you. So I think you should honor these important messages from spirit by taking the time to write them down and focus on them, and the answers to them will come to you. Some people say that, no one can interpret dreams but you, and there's no single narrative. Some people actually have that ability and gift that they can interpret dreams or the timeless message that's in dreams and visions. It just depends. Some people have that ability, and others, the message is, like I said, it's a private message just for you. So always just honor it by giving thanks for it. When you wake up, you can give thanks, or if you're in your wake state and you receive a vision, just give thanks for it and write it down, and just pay attention to the subtle messages that show you the meaning of it, if it is not a clear meaning. And let's see, that's about all for this evening. I hope that was a clear message about our multidimensional selves, and how dreams and visions help us, and how this just another ability that we have as spiritual beings. Many of us are experiencing these things now, and it's perfectly all right. It's perfectly normal as we're going through this great shift in consciousness, and the different worlds are changing. We're no longer in, as we start to vibrate higher, and we'll start to have more of these experiences, and it's perfectly all right. It's perfectly normal as we access higher levels of ourselves and start to vibrate higher. We will start to have more clear visions and dreams and messages from the divine, and it's really a great blessing to be able to have these experiences. Some people have told me that they don't have dreams, they don't have visions. They probably do, they just don't remember them. But if you're one of those people that doesn't, I would highly recommend that you meditate and pray before you go to bed, before you go to sleep, rather, and to calm your mind and to quiet your mind, and try that to see if that will help you have a more restful dream state, and to see if you can remember them more. When having visions, you'll also discover that you're looking into the other dimensions when you have these spiritual experiences. And right now, the distance or the veil between the dimensions is greatly getting thinner, and it's going to get even thinner as we get closer to the winter solstice in December. And so this is a time of great manifestation and a time of great spiritual awakening. And so part of that awakening is awakening to our multidimensional selves, and awakening to our higher states of consciousness, where we will be having dreams and visions on a regular basis. So I appreciate each and every one of you for watching and listening. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Hi, dear. Thank you for joining us. But we are about to end tonight's session and broadcast. So if you have any questions, please send me an email at astralhealingarts@yahoo.com. And I look forward to hearing from you, seeing you next week. Peace and love, everyone.